Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar and how to create your business plan. We'll start in a few seconds. In the time being, strongly encourage you to put your name, what type of business you have. It's a good opportunity for you to network amongst fellow participants in today's webinar. Also, there's going to be some housekeeping items. This is a recorded webinar. And if you have any questions, I strongly encourage you to put them in the Q&A. And throughout today's presentation, I'll be able to answer those questions for you. All participants will be receiving today's webinar link recording along with the presentation as well. Also, I do have a few questions in terms of the to break the ice. Have any of you created a business plan? What's been your experience? Have you created one? What has been your feedback in terms of creating your own business plan? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started right now. So once again, my name is Jesus Padilla. I am the manager of administrative services here at the Florida SBDC at FIU. So I want to thank you for attending today's business plan. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Yes, absolutely. It needs to be polished and refined, but definitely having a good rough draft definitely creates that roadmap for your growth. Yeah. Oh. Perfect. Yes, and yes, if you haven't created one, that's perfectly fine. Today's presentation, I'm going to be asking you the questions for you to respond in the particular components of that section. So like that, it's the ongoing conversation. So you could captivate the interest of the audience, if it's a banker, an investor, or even for your business vision that you have for the next 3 to 5 years. And yes, absolutely, Denise. Yeah, since you have an idea in mind, definitely start putting that idea on paper. That's the key component. So then afterwards, it's just the building blocks. Perfect. Yep, Lori, you're in the right place. So definitely we'll be talking in terms of hopefully the key takeaway is having the aha moment in today's presentation as the key questions that you have to ask yourself so that you're able to develop your business plan. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So once again, I want to thank you all for attending today's webinar. So this is part of the Miami-Dade Business Navigator program, which is funded through a cooperative agreement through the U.S. Small Business Administration, in which it was established in part of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, that it provides a community navigator approach to help you, the small business owners, in the economic recovery, in which this program is comprised as a lead hub. In this case, it is the Florida SBDC at FIU, along working with a network of spoke organizations that deploy community advocates to work with you as well. The overall goal is to improve the long-term economic recovery and the resiliency amongst, once again, you, the small business owners. It is placed on businesses owned by veterans, women, as well as socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Along with the Florida SBDC at FIU, we also have Ascendis branches, the EDC of South Miami-Dade, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, Prospera, and Startup FIU Procurement. All of these 7 organizations are able to assist you at no cost, and it creates that economic impact in the community. So you could work with one organization or all 7. That's not a problem. We're here to guide you based on your business growth and needs that you need to take your business to the next level. So once again, the overall focus is to create that local community navigator approach in consulting, mentoring, and training as such you're in today. This program, it is for the Miami-Dade businesses, but don't worry, if your business is located in Palm Beach, Broward, or Monroe County, we could still assist you, along with connect you with the appropriate resources that is in your respected county. If you're outside of that region, don't worry, I will put my email address in the chat so that you could email me directly and I could connect you virtually to my colleagues of your closest business resource partner. Along is a good opportunity for you to connect with us via email, visit our website, also our YouTube channel. It is where we have all of our webinars that are recorded. It's a nice wide range of small business resource information. So you can have additional tools for your toolbox. If it's access to capital, marketing, government contracting, just to name a few, is a good opportunity for you to take advantage. So like and subscribe, and by all means have a understanding of some of the areas that we're able to assist you, and have the conversation with our business consultants to enhance that session. So let's go ahead and get started in terms of how to create a business plan. Some of the objectives today, we're going to discuss the definition of a business plan, explaining the components of a business plan, how to be able to apply those planning principles, some of the best practices when writing a business plan. So once again, we already talked about it. Where do we start? It's overwhelming. Some have already created one as a rough draft. Now need some polishing. Some have multiple business ideas, which is the best one. So everyone has a different walks of life, different points of views in terms of the stages of the business or business idea that they have. So this is where you start. You start to plan. This is where many potential entrepreneurs, they lose track when it comes to drafting your business idea into a business plan. So don't let this idea or the idea of drafting a business plan delay your opportunity to move forward. Let's focus on how you could get your idea out of your head onto paper. So by doing so, this develops the blueprint for your success. It's the overall outline and framework of your business. What is your vision? And showcases the necessary steps to fulfill that vision that you have outlined. As the roadmap for your business, a good business plan helps you navigate your business towards the strategic direction. So what are the components of a plan? Well, it's a description of who you are, why you're in business, what you do, how you do it, where you operate, how you generate profits, who your customers are, and why is your business important? So these are some of the key components of the plan that you'll be able to explain and captivate the attention of the audience that you want to present your business plan to. So once again, just a friendly reminder, this is a recorded webinar and all participants will be receiving the presentation. So in case you have to step out or there are some key questions in some of the slides, don't worry, you'll be able to receive a copy of it. So by communicating to those specific audiences, some are the internal stakeholders and the external stakeholders. So the internal stakeholders are the key players, the key members of that team of your business. It consists of employees, the management team, the financials, to know your mission and vision, as well as your target market, your customers, the ins and outs, the nuts and bolts, and focus on the detailed operation of the business, as such, the operating budget, the market research, the competitor analysis, the sales list, the product design. So what is the secret sauce of your business? Don't disclose it, but at the same time, this has a full, clear-cut, comprehensive 30,000 foot level view of your business. While the external stakeholders, who are they? Those are the potential investors that we were talking about, the bankers, potential business partners. If you're looking for a traditional loan, include the amount that you're looking for, how the funds will be used, what those funds will accomplish. Most importantly, how do you plan to repay? And any collateral that you have to offer. It could be a house, it could be any assets, it could be anything. So having these two stakeholders, this will be able to have a clear definition in terms of the growth and the mission and the vision that you have for your business. Traditionally, the bankers, they love the historical trends. This is a good opportunity for you to also provide it in your business plan, having projections of 3 to 5 years ahead and outlining what you intend to reach within its yearly milestones, revenue projections, accomplishments like any government certifications. But once again, this business plan is a living document because your business will change and your business plan should be updated to reflect those changes. For example, if I have my business plan in 2019 and these were my projections for 2020, 21, and 22, COVID hit, the pandemic hit, my market no longer exists. The industry changed. So I have to pivot. I have to find new markets, new customers. So by being, and you may taken a hit. So by adapting and updating those changes, you're able to get back into the roadmap for your business growth as well. So by being adaptable and tolerant of uncertainty, your business will be successful, along with the business plan being your navigator. So what are some questions that will be asked about the business plan so you can start incorporating some of these responses as you're developing your business plan? These are the 4 core questions. What service or product does your business provide, and what need does it fill? Who are the potential customers for your product or service, and why will they purchase it from you? How will you reach your potential customers? Last but not least, where will you get the financial resources to grow or start your business? So in the company description, these are some of the key areas that you need to describe: the legal structure, the mission and vision statements, along with what are your goals for the company, what objectives you wish to accomplish, who are your target markets, the general overview of your product or service. What is the industry like? What's the climate like, the environment of that industry, along the company's management and the organizational structure. So the mission statement, it is an action-based statement that declares the purpose of your organization and how you serve for customers. If you don't have a mission statement or a vision statement, as we'll discuss on the next slide, we have consultants that can assist you in terms of developing the, what are your mission and vision statements. So Nike, what is the mission statement for Nike? It brings inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. But look at the word athlete, it has an asterisk. If you have a body, you're an athlete. Now, what is the vision? It's a declaration for your midterm and long-term goals, stating what you want to become in the future. So, for example, the Florida SBDC network, what is the vision statement? It's creating a better Florida for all by helping businesses grow. How about Southwest Airlines? It's to be the world's most loved, most efficient, and most profitable airline. It's completely different from mission and vision, but our consultants can assist you developing a suite, comprehensive statements for your business, so you could start marketing it. So what are some goals and objectives that you'd like to accomplish? Please be specific and attainable. Obviously, everyone would love to generate $1 million in revenue in the first year. But by being specific and attainable, you're saying the realistic expectations of your business and the trajectory of the projections and getting potential partners, investors, capital resources by being really realistic and attainable goals. It could be the level of satisfaction, annual sales targets, also any major milestones or accomplishments like a government certification or government contract, or you opened up a different location, or you expanded a business market from selling pens, now I'm selling pencils, or you found additional clients that you never thought about based on a specific customer segmentation. So some of these are all goals and objectives that you could definitely highlight. Followed by with the products and services, it is the enticing overview of what you're including. The descriptions, the pricing explanations, what's the competitive edge that you have. And with the target market, this is where you're describing who you're marketing your products to. Who will buy and why, along with include your company's location and where you anticipate moving to the future. You could have a staple in one location, but you intend to move because XYZ, your clientels are moving elsewhere and they don't want to do the drive. This is where you're able to talk about, what is the industry and your potential clients' landscape, where they're at. Along with the industry, these are some of the questions you could answer. It's what is your industry? Is your industry growing? What changes do you foresee, and how does your company plan to take advantage of these changes? How does your company compare to competitors in your industry? So a perfect example will be me selling beepers right now. That industry is not there. Everything is now technology in terms of cell phones having everything. But if I start selling beepers, it's obsolete. So by having a full understanding of what is the marketplace like, if it's a growing trend or if it's declining trend, you could talk about it and elaborate. Who are the key players? What are they doing that you're not doing? Study it. So that you're able to have a nice competitive advantage and see what they're doing so you can be successful within your market share of the marketplace. Along with the management structures, it's how is your company management is organized? Who makes the key decisions? Is it a board of directors? Is it just one person? If it's everyone together as a vote, what are the values that drive your company? Along how many employees do you have? What do they do? How are they paid? Do you anticipate this changing based on the industry trends? Is it more the business trends? And with the organizational structure, this is a full description of who is in the company. Talk about their description. What roles have they done? Their experiences. If you have any outside advisors, as such, any attorneys or accountants, list them here. Describe their relationships. Talk about your company's core competencies. Because, for example, if I want to have a business plan and I want to present it to you, you want to know what knowledge do I have. If I want to be a barber, these are my certifications. This is what I have done. But if there is no skin in the game in terms of my experience, you won't take me seriously. So by having the full clear-cut understanding as to who are the key players of the organization and what are their roles, right here you're able to say, okay, Jesus, you know your stuff. I'll definitely take you seriously, and we could have at least a seat at the table to discuss about any financial opportunities for your business needs. Along with any regulatory requirements, it's any licensing permits that your business needs or have. Also, this is a good opportunity for you to highlight any achievements or certifications. Women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, hubs-owned, any along those are in the realms of government contracting, but still, like if you're in the food industry, you have the FDA or the health department certification or any licensing from the state or the county or the city. This is where you're able to talk about those certifications, permits, licensing that you have that you could definitely take advantage of as well. Along with the market, this is the key foundation to marketing. Some of the opportunities for you is to conduct this market research. No, in terms of having, the question is, should you have certain members before creating an organizational chart? No, it's just, you could have a two-person operation. One could be the sales and operation. The other one could be the, the marketing director. So it's all based on what are the roles and responsibilities of the members of that business. And then as the business is to grow, you're able to delegate to have a general manager that focuses on the in-house, and one could do the kitchen. I'm just going for restaurants. So you could definitely do like a roles and responsibility as the business continues to grow. So in terms of marketing, you could gather facts based on the market research. It could be opinions, it could be questionnaires, it could be surveys of the overall industry, or how can I have you as my potential client, my potential customer? What is your behavior? What is your psychology? What's your demographics like? So I could start targeting to you so I could have you as a potential client. So once you analyze all the research, you're able to start grouping customers as a market segment. This could be your primary, secondary markets, and this will how you're able to start creating promotions or marketing ads, coupons, anything, by grouping all these segments and somewhat similar to answer the similar needs and attitudes that will most likely respond favorably for your marketing strategy. A perfect example: my brother is having a baby, first one of the family. So there's two different markets here. It's the parents and the family members, two separate markets, but at the same time, the family members are getting all the baby goods, all the goodies as for gifts. So this is another opportunity for the business to get additional clients, because it's going to be ongoing trying to spoil me being the cool uncle. I'm definitely spending a ton more money than my brother is going to be spending on the baby. So that is how you're able to differentiate your primary, secondary target markets. Along with the industry, it's describe the industry that you operate, as well as any potential prospects for your business within an industry. You have that industry knowledge. So you could definitely elaborate that on your business plan, and that should be clearly illustrated. Because perhaps if you've been in the industry for 20 years, you have seen how everything has changed, gone ups and downs from when you started to now, and all the different phases. And here are the questions that you could start elaborate, putting in the industry part of the business plan. What is your industry? What is the current size, and what share of the market you have? Identify those key characteristics. You should also determine the potential size. Who are your competitors within your industry, and who are your direct competitors? It could be in ice cream shopping in Miami Beach. It could be the big heavy players. It could be Cold Stones. It could be Baskin Robbins, Dairy Queen. But at the same time, my direct competitors could be those that are within a 2-block radius. So by having a full, clear-cut understanding of the industry size, along with the market share that you are establishing your business, you have a clear understanding as to what they're doing, what they're not doing, to enhance that market research. Followed by the trends, the consumer preferences, the product development. It could be more vegan or health conscious versus the growth, because there's more families. So there can be bound to go more outside, enjoy some ice cream. How and where does your company fit in the industry? This is where you have to do a self-assessment of yourself. What are the advantages and disadvantages do you have over your competitors? And are there any barriers of entry in this industry? And with the customers, this is what we talked about, the target market in the different customer segmentations. It's find out what people want to buy, not just you want to sell to them. Identify those target markets, profile your customers, At the same time, you could utilize free databases at the US Census Bureau and the Department of Labor. At the same token, the Florida SBDC can assist you to create those databases and pinpoint with the research data to assist you. So don't worry, we're here to guide you through the process. Don't be overwhelmed. It's overwhelming as it is, but we want to take the stress away and guide you through the entire journey. So to determine what needs your business will satisfy, these are the questions that you need to answer. Who are your current and prospective customers? What do they buy and why? Can they and will they buy your product? What price will they pay? Why might your customers prefer your product over the alternatives? And what market segments or groups are more likely to buy your products? This was the example I gave about my brother and I of buying baby clothes. I'll be most likely to buy more than him. One, because I'm cool, but at the same time, I want to spoil my niece. And at the same time, the price sensitivity, everyone has a price pain point. If it's going to be $20, or it's going to be $15 or $10. So by fully understanding what is their behavior and the psychology of who are your customers, you're able to have a clear understanding as this is my sweet spot of clients I want to obtain. How can I find them in other pockets of the city or county or elsewhere? When I was doing my MBA, I had to select a business, and I chose 7-Eleven. And this definitely, and I've definitely taken it to heart from when I was doing my master's, because 7-Eleven understands the customers, understanding the market. The founder of 7-Eleven said, give the customers what they want, when and where they want it. Look at the United States. It's grab snacks, drinks, everyday products on the go. In Indonesia, is a trending hotspot where young people spend time, surf the web, meet their friends. In Taiwan, it services your bicycle or photocopy. So by 7-Eleven understanding that market and the customers, that's how they've been able to be successful in 3 different countries. So for you understanding your customers and their behaviors and their psychology, you definitely will be successful on long term. Along with the products and services, it is having a clear understanding of why you're in business, what you sell, and how you compete. So what products and services are you providing? What is so unique about you? What are its important features? What will it do for the customer? How does it benefit them? And why is it better for the customer when compared to the competition? This is where your value proposition comes into play. This is where you're able to dictate, this is what I'm able to do to satisfy your needs. It could be a white glove service. It could be the experience. This is how you're able to differentiate by doing a good competitive analysis of your competitors and how you're able to create that competitive advantage for your business. Along with the pricing structure, is it monthly? Is it yearly? Is it weekly? Or just a one-time usage? And then what factors give you the competitive advantage or disadvantage? That's what we talked about in the competitive analysis. And do you keep inventory? What kind? How much is your inventory turnover? And who are your suppliers? In which life cycle is your product or business? Haven't launched yet? Just an idea phase, startup phase, emerging phase? And what research development activities are you performing or planning? Along with any intellectual property rights do you have for your product or service? So having a good comprehensive responses from these key questions, that's how you're able to mold the products and services that you're offering to the customers out there. Along with the marketing sales strategy, this is where you'll be able to include what is your plan to grow your business? How will you communicate with your customers? And how will you sell your product and services? It could be communicating through emails. It could be having billboards. It could be having signages all around a 3-mile radius. But at the same time, what other plans are you planning to do? And how will you sell it? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be in person? Is it going to be stands? How is it? Along with marketing, it's, assess how successful you are in meeting those customer needs, as well as how successful your competitors are. Do research. A good marketing strategy will be based on your market research to determine what customers want and what they will pay for. Who knows, perhaps you might find new markets that you could successfully target. Also, with a key marketing strategy, you have to it'll be talking about the four P's: the place, price, promotion, and product. With a sales strategy, this is where you're able to have the month-by-month projection based on those historical sales, industry, and market research. Numbers don't lie, so please don't pull them out of the air, and discuss how these sales will lead to company growth. This would be good to have it at least a good 2 years, so that you're able to see any historical sales. For example, selling school uniforms. You're always going to have a big peak around July, the slope is going high, August, and September. Then it's going to be very slow in the months of April, May, June. So by having another year, you're able to see the same threads, so like that, you're able to have a good sales projections. But if you have at least a few months, you're able to see if it's growing or decreasing if you're like in the service-based industry. Like summer months here in Miami, it might skyrocket, while in the winter months will be low. But based on the industry research, you're able to have a clear-cut understanding of at least, like I said, 2 years, you're able to identify. But if you have 1 year, that's perfectly fine. Yes. I just received a video file from yesterday's recordings, so I have to compile everything together. And by having an effective sales strategy, this is where the ask, I need funds. So this is where you're able to talk about the exact funds that you will need, how to start your business or invest it, and specifically to your financial projections. If you're seeking funding, include these funding requirements. How do you intend to use it? And when you receive those funds, is it more for funding requests for additional expenditures, working capital, acquisitions of a business expansion? Along with any strategic financial plans, as such, you're buying out a business partner or buying out another business. Are you being acquired? Any debt repayment plans, or are you selling your business? So all of we have consultants that can assist you with a business valuation. If you're buying a business, we have consultants that can review the finances to make sure that you're getting the best deal. Or selling the business, you want to get more bang for your buck. So we have consultants that can create those strategic finances strategic financial analysis to assist you with your financial needs. Along with the financial projections, explain the revenue forecasts, how much money you need and have, when and how the business expects to make profit. It also details what your marketing operational and plans will cost, along by providing the 3 financial statements, the projected balance sheets, the cash flow projections, and the profit and loss projections. So along with the balance sheets, it is reporting all the company assets, the liabilities, and shareholder equities. The good thing is that the SBA has really good examples and templates that you could definitely plug and play so that you're able to put them in your business plan or even your day-to-day business operations. So definitely I put the links here so you could definitely take advantage of it when you receive the presentations. Along with the cash flow projections, it's the amount of money entering and leaving your business over a given period of time. It could be monthly, it could be yearly, and enables you to meet your existing financial obligations as well as plan for your future. So if you're looking for a loan for 250,000 and you have a bad cash flow, you won't be able to have the capacity to repay back the inquiring debt. So our consultants will be able to assist you to have a cash flow projections and analysis to make sure that you have the capacity, you have the character and the conditions, along with the remaining other 5 C's, to help you with obtaining the necessary funds for that next phase, or to fulfill the ask of why you're using these funds. And last but not least, goes over with the profit and loss projections as your fixed and variable expenses. It could be the commissions, it could be the monthly rent or the lease of the building, salaries, or any other expenses. And each entry on the profit and loss statement provides an insight of the cash flow, as we discussed, of the business, and shows where the money is coming from and how it's being used. And the most important question that the bankers will ask you is, what is your break-even analysis? The break-even analysis is the sales threshold that needs to be surpassed before the business becomes profitable. So by having a clear understanding of your break-even analysis, we'll definitely have a good idea as how quick you'll become profitable and how quickly you'll be able to repay your other debts from the financial lending. Along with some optional appendices, this is where you're able to put more seasoning, more pizzazz in your business plan. Add color to it. Add brochures, any advertising materials, blueprints or plans, maps, copies of leases and contracts, any press coverage of your business, industry, market studies, testimonials. It could be anything that is needed to support your claim in the business plan. And if you're in the government contracting sector, a capability statement, what are your past performances, what certifications you have. This will be able to stand out your business. And last but not least, the executive summary. This is where you're able to save it's the first part of the business plan, but also the last section, you're right. This is where it's your elevator pitch. This is how you're going to give me or whoever a solid evidence why your business will succeed. That's why it's best for you to write the business plan, because you know it. That's your blood, sweat, and tears. That is what's your vision. And by having these short descriptive summaries in your executive summary, discuss about your plan, the products and services you sell or plan to sell, what's your mission statement, the management and organizational structure, the target market, and those ideal customers that you like to have, would like to have, your competition, the future of your business along with the industry, along any banking relationships and information regarding current investors, along with the financial data and projections. So essentially, by bringing everything back together, these are the questions that your executive summary should answer. What product or service your business provide? How does it fill your customer need? What competitive advantage, if any, does your product or service have? Who are your target customers? What goals do you have for your company? And how much do you need for a loan or investor, and how will you use it? So these are the key questions you have to ask yourself to answer, along with plugging and playing the other areas as what we discussed in the previous slide right here of the short descriptive summaries. Okay. So essentially, while as I know that some of our colleagues here that's present, they have developed some business plans, they're polishing it. There is always a work in progress, as we talked about. So this is a really good image in terms of building the business plan. Does it work? Yes. Generating revenues. If it doesn't, let's go back, let's redefine it, let's mold it again, and let's make sure that we're able to make profit afterwards. All right. So if you have any questions, I'm going to open up the floor. If you have any questions, I certainly encourage you to put them in the Q&A, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Along with, if you're interested to meet with our business consultant in business planning, access to capital, marketing, anything that we can do to assist with your business needs, strongly encourage you to scan this code, so we could connect you with the appropriate business consultant. Once again, it's no cost and gives you access to work with the 7 different organizations to guide you through the process. All right, and if you have any questions, strongly encourage you to put them in the Q&A, so like that I'll be able to share it with everyone else. Yes, I'm not a and not me, but I do have a consultant that does one-on-one with the business planning assistance. And the question was asked if I work one-on-one, work on business plans. Okay, Myra, I'm gonna send you my email address. I'm gonna put my email address in the chat, and this is also for everyone. I do apologize. There's a typo. Sorry about that. I got too excited. It's a jpadilla@fiu.edu. So you can send me an email and I'll be able to investigate it. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's any other additional questions here. Yes. I'll be emailing you the presentation along with some additional templates as well. So it's an easy plug and play, so like that our consultants and team will be able to assist you on that front. Okay. Yes. In terms of if your business is outside the Quad County, the Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade, Monroe County, just shoot me an email, and like that I'll be able to connect you with the appropriate colleagues of mine in Tampa area. But my recommendation also is register on the Navigator so that we could meet together. So like that I'm able to create the action steps for my colleague over there instead of repeating yourself. Like that we're able to enhance the conversation with my colleagues over in Tampa. Okay. All right, let's see. No problem, Melissa. As always, nice seeing you. And yes, also if your business is located in Tampa, yes, do the same exact thing. I strongly encourage you to register for consultation. I'm able to we could hop into a phone call. Whether your business needs, what is your what type of assistance you're seeking, and then like that I'll be able to virtually connect you with my colleague over in the Orlando area as well. Yes, the presentation will be provided to everyone once I receive the video file, so that all participants that were present today will be able to receive the recording along with the presentation. And Carlos, yeah, so we need a business plan for the process of SBA certification. It's always good to have one because in case if you get a certification, then afterwards you get those contracts, and you need some capital to fulfill and have a good cash flow until you get paid from the services. It's good to have a business plan as well. So definitely encourage you to register so you could meet with our consultants, not only in government contracting, marketing, but also in access to capital with the business planning. You're welcome. Yes, the certifications are free, but my recommendation is to touch base with our business consultants in the government contracting realm to see which certification is best for you. Because oftentimes we've had clients that get 15 different certifications, but 14 of them are irrelevant. So because they don't do any business on that front. So obviously it's your time and effort. So you want to focus on your business. So definitely our consultants will be able to guide you in terms of what certifications you need, how to solicit your services or product to the respective agencies or municipalities in local, state, and federal side. No, and I have a question, in terms of, I plan to open a nursing office next year. Do I wait or start preparing a business plan? You could start it right now, so that you're able to have an idea as to who are going to be your respective target markets. Perhaps you might have a potential investor. Perhaps you might have, some bankers might be asking you, for some capital. So it's good to have, the roadmap already in mind, to be more effective once you open up next year. Like I said, it's a living document, so you could definitely adapt to it, as time goes on. The question is, what's the best to organize and where do I start collecting research for a bed and breakfast business? It's based on, market research from the area. You know, what do the other bed and breakfasts, have to offer? And what services can you provide that will be able to enhance that experience? So that's one way to do it, along with, seeing what are the trends, what's the demographics, is it more couples, is it more families, is it more the age groups? So how can you target those? So those are some ways to start the marketing side of that market research. In terms of, I have a question, are there any recommended courses for government contracting? We actually do have, some webinars in government contracting on the YouTube channel. So definitely encourage you to participate and or see some of the recordings. Along with, our consultants will be able to guide you as well, depending on where in the process or life cycle are you in government contracting. Okay. Okay. Think I answered all the questions. Okay. In terms of, contacts that build a website, we don't have contacts because, we want to be, you know, free from any liability issues. But we do have consultants that can guide you in terms of what you need to have an effective website. Her name is, Emily De Armas. So definitely, you could definitely register. You know, obviously I need e-commerce assistance and we'll be able to connect you with our consultant. It's like, this is what I need. And then afterwards, you know, you have the foundation. Now, in terms of what you need to implement it, we have consultants that can guide you through the process of the SEO analysis, for example, like the messaging and branding of that business. So for example, I want to open up a steakhouse. I'm going to have the messaging of steaks, the filet mignons, the ribeyes. I'm not going to have a picture of a salad. So having, you know, the contact tabs, the blogs, any pictures, any videos, so like the digital marketing will come into play as well. So our consultants will be able to assist you, to make sure that you're hitting the clienteles, that's conveying with the messaging and branding of the website. Okay. All right. So if there's, perfect. Yeah. If you want to get in contact with the consultants, definitely encourage you to scan the QR code that is here on the webpage. So like that, you know, we'll get the ball rolling on that side. But then at the same time, once I send out the email to everyone with the presentation and the recording, I'm also providing the link also to registration. So there's multiple avenues in terms of how to get in touch with our consultants. But definitely, you could send me an email, you could scan the code, or when I send out the email with everything from today's presentation, this is another opportunity. But definitely, yeah, the QR code is still up. Definitely, you know, I'm here, I'm always accessible, so you could definitely reach out to me. Also, you could also, you know, shoot me an email as Jesus, are there like any potential workshops in this particular material or anything? I have a plethora of events in the pipeline, so definitely I will keep you posted of that particular material or subject. So it's not an issue. Okay. Okay. In terms of, since you're on your phone, you could email me. You could email me or also reply to the email I sent out as a friendly reminder to everyone. So I could send you the link. So that's an issue. Like I said, there's multiple avenues to get a hold of me. So I'm here to guide you. At the end of the day, I don't want you to be leaving empty-handed. So like once again, I wanna thank you all for attending today's webinar. Happy National Small Business Week. And can you share it? Can you share the slide in just words about the business plan is working? Is it this one, Rowdy? There you go. Just let me know when you're done, okay? But like I said, we're family. So anything I could do to assist you, just shoot me an email. To the best of my ability, I'll be able to connect you with the appropriate channels. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to guide you anywhere I can for your business growth. So once again, thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care.